Since the mid 1970s, she ranks as one of the most famous nude swimmers of all time. Her death in Jaws was kind of harkened back to the death of Janet Leigh's character in Psycho, killed by Tony Perkins' mother, where it's really Tony Perkins. But Susan Backlinie or Backline is best remembered for her quality of work or her dedication to her craft, and the fact she was a very luminous presence in the Jaws ads and the history that we remember with fondness. Now, Susan Jane Myers, who later changed her name to Susan Jane Backline or Linnea, was an American actress and stunt woman who passed away on May 11th, 2024. She was best known for playing Chrissy Watkins in the first shark attack victim in the opening scene of Steven Spielberg's 1975 film Jaws. Now, the native of Miami spent many years as an actress and stuntwoman from 1960 to 1982. Now, she took her name of her first husband Henry in 1966, and also married to Harvey Swindell in 1995. Now, some say sources say she was a native of Washington but born in Miami. From the age of 10, she lived in West Palm Beach, Florida, where she swam for miles off the coast in the local pools. At Forest Hill High School, she was a cheerleader and a state freestyle swimming champion and graduated in 1964. After high school, she attended nursing school for a year, but she wanted a more adventurous outdoor life. As a teen, she performed as a mermaid in the Weeki Wachee Springs State Park, a tourist attraction on Florida's west coast. Later, she worked with Wild Elements at Ivan Tour Studios, the Miami facility made famous by Flipper. On a national tour with Ivan, she started stage with Gentle Belle and the Bear, Judy the Chimp, and Clarence, a cross-eyed line. When Ivan Tours closed, Backlinie, now in her early 30s, relocated to Africa USA, an animal theme park in Redwood City, California. Now, in her early 70s, when she was 23 years old, she was working at Africa USA riding on the back of a 300-pound water skiing line named Zamba, also an animal actor. This led with a topless pictorial with Zamba, delaying the line in the January 73 issue of Penthouse. She also appeared nude in the February 77 issue of Mayfair. As a stunt woman, she played a dead prostitute floating down a river in the Blue Night in 73 and was seen in a falling elevator in a towering inferno in 1974. Now, in 74, she was working as an extra for a casting agency when a request came in for someone who was willing to work in the nude who was a good swimmer in the ocean. Backlinie submitted a nude photo of herself, and she was brought to the attention of director Steven Spielberg. Backlinie pitched her beauty. If you use me, you could get close-ups during the stunt itself. If you use an actress, she'll have to hide her face. She was hired, and Backlinie's scene in Jaws took 3 days to shoot. Attached to her cut-off jeans were metal plates that anchored ropes pulled by groups of men in opposite directions, giving the appearance of being dragged by an unseen force underwater. Other than flippers to help her, she stayed afloat only by the strength of her swimming. Spielberg calls Backlinie's sequence one of the most dangerous stunts he's ever directed. She was actually being tugged left and right by 10 men on one rope and 10 men on the other back to the shore, and that's what caused her to move like that. Her screams were recorded later in the studio. She recounted that Spielberg sat me in a chair and he poured water down my throat. When Jaws co-star Richard Dreyfuss saw a daily of her performance, he told her it absolutely terrified him. The iconic scene, which she did mostly in the nude, opens the film. Although the movie poster shows the character of Chrissy, Susan is not the one depicted. The painting was originally a book cover by Roger Castell, who hired a 24-year-old model named Alison Marr. Backlinie was in the 1977 film Day of the Animals, regarded by some as a Jaws clone about nature gone bad. She was also in Spielberg's 1979 film 1941, parodying her role in Jaws. Instead of being attacked by a shark during a midnight swim, she is picked up by the periscope of a Japanese submarine. The scene has been described as the best joke in what is otherwise widely considered one of Spielberg's least successful films. Ironically, I watched the movie 1941, and I knew about the scene at our Dalhousie Regional High School Winter Carnival. This is a heavy nude scene. And the famous scene where the Japanese guy discovered, Hollywood, I told my principal, I said, she's going to be nude running into the ocean and literally he did not know what was going on, and he said, where have I seen this person before? Well, I said, that's a lady from Jaws. Now, ironically, her other big co-star was Miss Piggy, where she danced a duet water ballet with her in The Great Buckman Caper. Married twice. First in age 66 to her first husband, Henry, a ranch foreman, and then again in 96 to Harry Swindoll. She had a daughter. Later in life, she was a computer accountant. She was also a popular presence at Jaws Fest events and enjoyed scuba diving, including on the coast of Australia, where she fiercely swam with sharks. Unfortunately, he passed away from a heart attack at her home in Ventura, California, on May 11, 2024, at the age of 77. Now, filmography, Jaws and The Grizzly and the Treasure in 75, A Stranger in My Force, in 2-Minute Warning, she played an extra. Day of the Animals in 77, playing Mandy Young. 49 in The Villain with Kirk Douglas, and Polar Bear Woman in 1941. Image of the Beast in 81 in The Great Muppet Caper. And Terror in the Isles, where she played herself, the actress, archival footage in that movie that looked at strange roles. Now, on TV, she was in A Quest in 86, A Girl in a Brawl. She was in The Return, The Incredible Hulk, playing a TV animal trainer, the TV film. She was also in Quark for 2 episodes as guard number 1. In 82, she was on The Fall Guy playing Tammy, and Catalina Sealab as diver with Benz. Now, the Daily Telegraph gave a great tribute to her in their obituary about her passing, and we're going to talk about it a little bit here. According to Spielberg, he told her that in this article, that when your scene is done, I want people on their seats on the floor with popcorn and bubble gum. Now, the idea about her, they needed somebody that was traditional, what he called a surfer cute, and that's what she was. I don't think her being nude was as much a concern of a lot of people to see how she was, she survived it. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, how people can remember something differently what to say it. Like the shadows of the opening scenes, I think that was no body double used. She was a well-built woman. But the fact is, they weren't concerned about her nudity. It was from the Jaws point of view going higher. Now, the guy who was left on the beach, I forget the actor name, but he said people would make him feel guilty. He felt that he should have went out with her and maybe gotten bitten like she did. But the fact, what a career! You're playing an animal trainer or playing with animals, and you're a mermaid, and all of a sudden everybody seeing you nude in a movie being ripped apart by a shark. So truth is stranger than fiction. But I know she had a lot of friends, a lot of followers, and her passing was met with great sadness by a lot of people because, as my good friend Rain Ravens from Woodstock once say, you shouldn't be able to meet your heroes. I guess when she went to celebrity events, she would sign. She was be forced to take cash to sign it because she didn't feel that she didn't think about her job. And the fact is, Spielberg had a great affection for her because in 1941 said we want to come back. But that scene in 1941, it's kind of different because it's what he called the beach baby or like the wave baby style that we talk about, the honeymoon suite thing. And I know for a fact, ladies and gentlemen, that probably honeymoon suite was motivated by her. Like the wave baby, it used to call the beautiful lady swimming nude. And there's a scene where she does kind of I think it's her, I could be wrong. She does kind of a athletic leg out of the water trick. But like I said, for what she did on the screen, I think no more than 5-10 minutes. It was just tremendous. And of course, the scene on the beach, the beach party. So again, she is greatly missed. And Susan is a part of our past that will never be forgotten. And when she passed, she made national news in Canada because everybody remembered her, not just her body, but the fact was someone had to play this part. She did it quite well. And I think the Oscars not having a stuntman award for years, I think this shows where a stuntman, no matter what you look like, a very nice looking man or woman, can add to the movie. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing with our screenshots movie podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. This is a continuation of some Jaws podcasts we're doing in the spring. We talked about the shark effects in the previous one, and Spielberg, well put together. Right stunt people, the right editors, the right guest performers, and Spielberg at the time, the number one in the world, the number one box office hit, and Susan was a big part of that. Thanks for listening. Bye.